Okay, so this is some of my examples of just things being overgrown. This was all planted in ground last year, okay? You can see how much this girl right here has overgrown. You can't even see the pot that's behind this. Now, in my last in-ground tapestry for spring, you were able to see the pot, which is right here. Can you see that? Right there, okay? You from the front, you can't even see the beautiful cactus that I have back there. So, that's not good. I'm gonna have to trim the top of this to bring it down again because I love the pot, the Roman pot, urn. I love that. You also can see this cactus. Look at how big that is. It's just grown so much. They have lots of little pups at the very bottom. So eventually I'll get in here and cut all those off. But until then, I'll just enjoy it. But it is getting large and it looks very in charge. Okay, look at these little euphorbias right here. These are going great. I love that in summer they have that reddish color on the tips. Not too sure if I should be shading this. I will find out shortly here, because if it starts getting a little bit more sunburn, I'm gonna have to cover it because I don't want it to lose its beauty. Back there are some aloes. Those have actually grown, thrown off a lot of pups, but I do have to cut the little blooms that are dried out now. And even as far as the palm trees, look at how large they have gotten. They have gotten so large, so tall. And that's my office. So that's my beautiful palm tree I get to look at. Now, the elephant bush in here, because I have it really snug and tight in that pot, it's a pot that I potted inside the ground. So I dug a hole in the dirt before we lay in rocks. I put the pot that has drainage in it inside the hole so it can look like it's just the top of a pot coming out of the ground. But because it's so compact in how I pot it, all the succulents in there, it hasn't grown too bad oversized. Now this cactus back here, it had beautiful blooms this spring. As you can see, there's some new blooms that are going to come out of there too. But this is just beautiful. It's going great right here. This is the same one from the other side. This one looks like it's going at the same exact speed, but it's just so gorgeous. I'm loving those colors. The palm tree back there, I think that was a new one we had to like repot or replant back there, but it's doing okay. This over here, this trailing jade looks great. You know how I did the whole tipping pot to the side. There is some kalanchoe right there. You can barely see it, but it's there. This is just grown so thick. It's grown a lot in. And then there goes my cholla. She's doing well. I did pull up those aeoniums from my last walkabout that you saw. I pulled them up and I potted them in pots in the backyard. I knew they were gonna fry right here and I didn't want to take the chance of losing any new ones. These are doing so great. And I need to cut those old blooms off too. Okay, so this right here, it's growing tall, but do you see how the Roman pot's right there, and it's gonna grow big just like the other one. It's grown wide as far as tall and wide. It's grown in both ways. So I'm gonna trim it down, and I'll probably take this one on this side out, trim down, and then maybe use some of that for the backyard. That way you can see the Roman urn and the euphorbias that are growing right there. This is pretty much a hot mess. I need to reconstruct, redo, clean out. But as far as right now, it's quite all right. Now, I'm not gonna move too fast, but I did cut the tops of those flapjacks off, the big blooms. And as you can see, on the tip right there, there's some new flapjacks growing right out of it. So whenever you behead a flapjack, don't worry about beheading the bloom. Just cut it. You don't even have to cut it to the very bottom if you don't want. But because there's new blooms that are going to come from it wherever you cut. So that's good. These have increased. They've shot out pups all over the place. I love the color of this. And it's shaded by these palm trees that we planted. So we planted these here. We did. You know, show your house some love, show the yard some love, curb appeals everything, especially if you're thinking about reselling your house. Also, so pick specimens that you don't mind leaving behind, that you know you can find again, just because you don't want to dig up your whole front yard if you don't have to. So as you can see, this elephant bush has grown massive. Look at that. I mean, it is gorgeous. It is mean. It is like growing like a hot mess, but I'm loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I might trim those down just so you could see the urn from this angle. When you're walking in the front yard, you can see it a little bit more. So I'll probably trim it down, but I like how it's trailing throughout. These ones have definitely thrown off some pups. Beautiful color. It's already getting stressed because of summer. So you're seeing those oranges, you're seeing those tangerines. And if you're anything like me, that's what you like, especially when you do like color. You don't want to just always feel like your succulent collection is just a massive color of green, even though I love green. Here goes another one of these. This one's going okay. And I definitely have to pull some weeds around here. And that flapjack has grown some new babies after I cut that too. So the opunthias, they're getting that violet purple color. It's just looking so great. Those are slow growers. They're not too fast. That's why I chose those, because although I love the colors, if they did grow at a fast speed, I wouldn't like it, because the pricks that are on there, they're not fun when you get them in your hand. They're as fine as like little hairs, but they hurt a lot. So, and this urn right here is doing pretty good. I haven't had to put a shade cloth on it, only because, as you can see, it's right under the palm tree, so it does get some shade. Now let me take you back over here on this side. Okay, so these are doing so great. Doing so great. The ones that are in more sun, as you can see, they get more of a darker color, more of a reddish maroon color, if you will. This is definitely a beautiful pup that's coming on this side. And then here's one of like the blessings that I've gotten. So that's a palm tree. That's a ponytail palm. This, what you're looking at right here. I thought it was dead, but I did put the bottom of the base, you know, that wood part of the root, in ground. And so it just started pupping out, and so did the other side, and I thought they were completely dead. So that's a ponytail palm, if you're what you're looking at right now from the top. I have some flapjacks over here. I'm gonna cut those. It's in the flapjack family. It's a kalanchoe, I think. Anyways, I'm going to be cutting those blooms off. This palm tree is a newer one. I think the first one that was here went dormant, like it totally rotted. And so we were able to exchange it at Lowe's. That was last spring or last summer. All of the aloes are doing great. I just need to cut all those off, as well as cut this off. Now I'm shading this because this is my short tooth aloe, and this will get burned. It will get fried. So I want to protect her as much as I can, and this shade cloth really does the job. This aloe right here doesn't really need a shade cloth because this palm tree kind of blocks it from the hottest part of the day, which is usually around 3 or 4. Here goes my artichoke cactus. Isn't she beautiful? I brought her from my last house. I have to pull this weed. Oh God. But it's pretty. It doesn't look like just an artichoke. It's just beautiful. It's a slow grower too. I brought it when it was a pup, and it's just going great. This euphorbia is doing great over here too. I've been watering a lot more. You can see the new growth from that green that's right there. And for some reason, I didn't put it in ground. It probably would do a lot better if I did have it in ground, but I just have it in this pot. It's probably because I know I'm not going to be here forever and I'm going to want to take it with me. But hey. So right here, you'll see this definitely is stretching because it doesn't get a lot of sun in here. So definitely some of these succulents have outstretched, but it's okay. And then that one right there, I pulled from one of the urns in front of the garage because I did not want it to get burned. So I'm gonna pot that on its own or stuff it in one of these. Who knows? Well, okay, so there you go. That is the mid-June Tapestry in-ground succulent collection tour. Hopefully you were able to get inspired. Hopefully you were able to see like what's been overgrown and what needs to really get maintenanced. Well, until the next video, keep inspiring and stay connected. God bless. Bye.